Magic the Gathering is an increasingly expensive game to play, and that means many players are turning to proxying in order to play with the cards they want. Proxying can range in quality from using a Sharpie on a card you already own, all the way up to high-quality non-commercial art. Tapped Out's a budget-focused channel, and that means above all else, I will always recommend you play the game, no matter what that means to you. And I'm sure many of you out there will be able to afford cards in the $30, $40 range. You may even have opened format staples in $4 booster packs like years ago, but not everyone is in that situation. And if you're worried about Wizards of the Coast, well, don't be. Firstly, they're a multi-billion-dollar organization. But secondly, as long as you're not selling product using their intellectual properties or their trademark or their copyrights, or actively trying to counterfeit someone, they're really pretty lenient. I mean, after all, who is more likely to spend money on WOTC product in the future? The person who's completely priced out, or the person who got to play and have fun thanks to proxies? Now that's all out of the way, I'm sure you can work out how to print things on your home inkjet. Well, I'm not sure, honestly, those things are a complete nightmare. But instead, this video is about make playing cards, or MPC. They've been trusted by Magic players for years and apparently print very high quality products. But their website can be a little bit annoying to use, and so the community has come up with a tool. That tool is called MPC Fill. There are currently two versions of MPC Fill. This is the old one, and this is the new one that's in beta. There are some features that differ between the two of them at the time of recording, but the file formats they output are identical. So if there's one thing that you want to do in the old one that you can't do in the new one, or vice versa, it's pretty easy to just swap between them. Of course, to print proxies, you're going to need a list of cards you want to print, and the easiest way to do that is just grab them from whatever decklist site you're already using. I personally use Archidect, but anything that can output a list of cards in basic text is going to work. The deck list I'm using today is Spice 8 Racks from the episode of Shuffle Up and Play. It's the Ratatouille deck. It looked really fun to play, but I'm never going to be able to afford it in paper without using proxies. Even if you take out the OG dual land, it's well out of my price range. I mean, the 24 rat colonies that are in there is going to be like $130 already. So I'll export that and take it over to MPC Fill. Now, the way Make Playing Cards works is if you would like to get foils and non-foils, they have to be in a separate print run to each other. You can order them at the same time, but you have to add them to your cart separately. So as an example, I'll grab the rat colonies and just separate them, and I'll put them through later. If you would like to order tokens as well alongside, you can. It's pretty easy. I know Archidect has a little list at the bottom which tells you the tokens your deck is going to produce. I'm sure most deck websites have something similar. So I'll just add a few here like rats and beasts, etc. and then hit submit. And once it's all loaded in, you can go through your cards and select different art for each of them from a wide variety of different proxy artists. Now, some cards have more art than others, but most have more than a few, like Academy Manufactor here. I'm going to go with an old border style here because I kind of want to go with that theme with this deck. So I'll come back to you once I've tried to do that with all of the others. Here we go. Now, not everything had an old border style, including notably the commander of this deck, so I had to make my own for that one, that I will just upload into MPC later and click and drag it over. But most things did, as you can see. I also took a few things out that I'm going to put through as the foil order instead, and I changed the card back to black. Now, I'm personally planning to put a custom one on anyway. I'm just going to have to click and drag onto every card once it's in MPC, but they do have a bunch here you can use. I'd be careful about using ones that look a little bit too close to the real Magic card back, including like the Japanese one, as MPC might not let that order go through if you do. I will note as well, if you have cards like Balaged Sanctuary here, if you change the generic card back, it doesn't affect those. Those will still have the correct reverse, although you will want to double check that the front art style and the back art style match. Then just click on Generate Order. And if you're doing foils, repeat this process, just flip that switch to foil at the top there and download that file as well. Then just click on What's Next. This will take you to the guide page, which will stay up to date even when this video goes out of date. And I'm going to be doing this on Windows. If you're on Mac or Linux, you can do it, but you're going to need to follow this guide. So for now, we're just interested in that GitHub link at the bottom of the page. That will take you to the Releases tab of their GitHub. You can just download that little exe or whatever platform you're using. I've put everything into a folder here. I've renamed them for the sake of my own sanity, and they're in their own folder because I don't want you to see the mess that is my downloads folder. But this will work anywhere as long as the XML files and the exe are in the same folder. Then just double click it and run. I usually go with no for the first option. For the second one, I couldn't get Chrome to work, so I've been using Edge, and that works perfectly fine, but your mileage may vary. And I generally say no to post-processing the images, but if you have a slow connection, you might want to do that. And then you just select the XML file containing your order, and it'll open up a new browser window and go through the MPC order process, auto-filling as it goes. Don't worry, you don't need to keep this in the front or anything, it'll do it in the background. You can keep using your computer. Make sure everything looks okay, and then go to Preview and Add to Cart, click that little checkbox at the bottom, add it to your cart. If you want to do falls as well, just repeat this process, selecting the other XML file when you do so. I did find a discount code that worked for me. Thank you 5C. It wasn't a lot off, but it was something. I will recommend though that you put through the order using PayPal, not credit cards. I have seen some posts on Reddit, which were admittedly a few years old, that maybe their card details were being leaked by NPC. So better safe than sorry, just stick to PayPal. And that's it. And that's it. And that's it. I personally can't afford to order this right now, but when I can, I will, and I will open them right here on the channel and review them. Thanks for watching. Have you ordered from NPC before? Are you going to try it out now? Are you just mad at me for suggesting that people proxy the OG dual lands? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.